Hey guys, Admin Clay here with a little short guide to what is a Session Zero. So a Session Zero is a planning session that is run at the beginning of a new campaign. This session usually includes a lot of discussion between the DM and the players and sets some expectations and rules to the campaign going forward. It's also where the character creation usually happens. Using a Session Zero, I have pre-planned already. So in this, I will be mentioning that character creation, loosey-goosey. Play what you want. If I have the source book and have it in my compendium, go for it. And I will also mention that with this campaign, there is optional backgrounds and bonds. Those are changes to the standard background features or standard bonds that you would normally get through character creation. And that they are there should you wish to choose them, and we'll go through them, what they are. Another thing I will ask is, do they want milestone or experience leveling? Because there is a difference. Milestones is essentially that when you get to a certain point, you level up. Predetermined either by your DM or the campaign. It's the campaign creators themselves. XP is, you kill stuff, you get experience. You complete this task, you get experience. After you've reached a set amount of experience, you level up. It is a lot harder to keep track of with experience leveling, but then at least the players will know that, ooh, I'm so close to leveling. So there is bonuses and there is downsides to both kinds. I will also be mentioning that in this campaign there is a mixture of role-playing and combat. It's a good 50-50 mix sometimes it's 60-40. But I'll be mentioning that because that could make a change in how somebody wants to play the character as well, or what they actually want to make. I would also mention that throughout this campaign there will be dungeons, there will be cross-country travelling and survival checks. There will be towns where they can shop and ask questions to people, or perhaps find side quests. Who knows? But then at least they know it's not all just going to be in one big dungeon this entire time. It's not all going to be survival cross-country, got to get from X to Y, filling stuff in along the way. I'd also mention where it's based, because perhaps that'll influence their backstory, perhaps. And those are the game rules. And then I'd also discuss things outside of the game. I'd ask if they want to use the crit decks. I have critical hit and critical fail decks. If they want to use those or stick with the standard rules of that. I'd also mention that I don't really go with rules as written. I do sometimes, but not always. Sometimes I'll just go, you know what, that sounds awesome. We shall allow that. Which is rule of cool. I'm more of one of those ones. And I will make that known before the campaign so that they're not like, wait, that's not how this works. Which will also lead into rule debates. How do we want to handle rule debates? Do we want to right there and then at the table and we'll come to an agreement? Or after the game and then come to an agreement then so that it doesn't disrupt? How to handle problematic situations. So if somebody gets uncomfortable because of a topic that's been brought up, how can they make it quickly known without going and waiting, because somebody might not like to interrupt, but then it could make it worse. So a very standard one is the rule of X, the X rule, or the red card rule, which is essentially at any point in the game, if there is something that makes you uncomfortable, makes you anxious, or is starting to get that way, you just hold your arms up like an X. If you're on roll 20, you can draw an X on the screen, you can type X into the chat, anywhere. X. Could be F, could be A, predetermined, but it's easier with an X. Or hold up a piece of paper, usually of any colour, or have a safety word. So, for example, say your group settles on the word pineapple. At any point, you could just say pineapple, and the DM should breeze straight past what it's talking about, and perhaps at the end of the game, reach out to you to ask which part or what of it that made you uncomfortable so that he can better avoid it in the future. There would also be perhaps mentioning how character deaths and how would like to handle that. For example, sometimes it's not easy to just die and poof, here's another character just magically appeared in your party. So it would be a case of, yes, you have died, but perhaps you may have to wait a few sessions till the DM can thematically add you back into the group and introduce you to the party. And sometimes you just have to accept that that happens. But again, sometimes it could be poof, magically, another person just magically appears in front of you. Because magic. Because it's Dungeons and Dragons. There is magic everywhere and teleport spells. So who knows? There's those kinds of things that will be discussed in Session 0. There may be less things than that. There may be more things than that. Depends on what you as the players and you as the DM feel needs to be discussed and set, a precedence before going into the game. And that is what a Session 0 is. Sometimes you will perhaps have very little to do in the Session 0, especially if it's a group you've already been playing with. They won't really need much of a Session 0 because they've already got most of it from the previous game. But they would perhaps need information about character creations and things like that going forward. But each DM, each group is different. So I hope this made sense and I hope this helps. There is a Session 0 checklist available in the public DM resources on the server. So you can access that, download that anytime you want, just for a quick reference when planning. That's what I use anyway. And yes, thank you for watching. Bye!